Hello and welcome back to a scenario where civilization colonized Mars. So, in the last episode, we saw many things happen. We saw our first alliance just between the colonies on Mars, not a real alliance on Earth. And then we see today what's going to happen in this video. So, I believe the first thing that would happen is Brazil makes a landing. So they are going to be yellow, I would say. Brazil is going to be over here. So I'm going to need to show their landing. So here, this is where Brazil lands. And in this scenario, I'm not paying attention to who actually has a space program in real world. It's just kind of stronger countries. So here is Brazil so far, and they're just gonna explore around this lake. Or no, this is probably actually a sea, I would say. We'll go there. Yep. All right. They explore a lot, and then they have their second landing. They advance pretty quickly, and they will go right. Oops. They will go right over here. It kind of looks like a bit of a Pac-Man shape over there, but that's okay. So that's Brazil. Then we're going to jump back to the U.S. So the U.S. has a city now. They're just going to kind of expand out right now into this weird peninsula kind of thing. So the U.S. is looking very strong. They have a city, and they have lots of land. So I'm not really sure how they could expand, but get any better, honestly. But they're also going to explore quite a bit, because they really haven't been exploring a ton. So they're starting to explore all these little tiny lakes out here. They send many expeditions, and then they actually have a landing right here. And for population on Mars, I would say right now maybe 20 million. Because right now they're more there are some civilians, but it's mostly rich people who can make it here. So that is the U.S. And then China, I think they're actually going to start their first city. I didn't get the city color. Okay. So, I think, if I remember correctly, they landed, I think, around this lake. So I believe that's where they're most likely going to start a city. So right there. And their city isn't very big right now, seeing as they just started building it. So they aren't actually going to expand because they're working on their city. And they do not have another city. And so Russia here, they have a city. They are actually going to meet up down here with the Australians. They're going to try to cut them off for some reason. So they're cut off. It's kind of border gory, but it's okay. And then they're going to slowly start expanding. Just a bit. So they're definitely pretty big. They aren't going to do really anything else because they're kind of not surrounded by much. I mean, they have this huge lake, but then they don't have much water, so they're just going to stop there. And then India is going to... Russia did not invade India. That was a mistake. So India is just going to start expanding, seeing as they have 2 cities. They're just kind of trying to build up defenses and stuff. They're definitely more established because they have an alliance. They have 2 cities. I think this is definitely the best India. Like, best on Mars, I would say, is India. Then probably, like, US. China, then Russia, then Australia, then Brazil. So India is doing good. And their alliance actually adds another person, Brazil. So they're kind of like they're kind of like the small, like, colonies alliance. I mean, that's not what they're called, of course, but they're kind of made up of all the smaller colonies. There. So Brazil, Australia, and India have formed an alliance. And so that's making them very strong. And there's a lot of tension up here, like with Russia, China, and the US, just because they don't have alliances, like, on Mars. And China and the US went to war, so. And then, Australia and actually declares war on Russia, which is kind of crazy, but just a colony, not a real country, the real country. And so they start to take this land because they want it to connect their landing over there. So they start moving in. And this is kind of surprising for Russia. I mean, like, they did not think about this. And so they push back. They actually surround this spearhead, and it's done. And Russia's military is so powerful. I mean, there was no chance that they were going to take that. And, well, Russia has an opportunity now to just take this. So they start moving in, and there's really no forces over here, seeing as it's disconnected. And Russia just takes that. really. Later. So that's how Russia is looking after that invasion. But they aren't done. Which they start moving in. And India and Brazil. Well, Brazil doesn't have forces yet. But India does. They're the strongest on here. So India comes like over here and tries to surround and helps Australia move back in their territory. And they decide there's no getting that at this point, so this is the final treaty. And Australia lost some territory to that, but not too much. So there is Russia and Australia. And then we're gonna make our way to Brazil. So Brazil is gonna do some more exploring. They're just really trying to figure out what's going on. And so they are gonna go and start to expand out this way. And they are actually going to connect here, just kind of, and then just claim it. I mean, no one else to claim the rest, so. And then Brazil is going to actually make a city. They have to kind of make this yellow line for theirs. But it'll be like right over here where they landed. That's their city. It's really hard to see from up here, but it's fine. And now back to the US. They are actually going to make a landing out here. Kind of odd, but I mean, they're kind of the first ones to do that, so it's a little weird, but they're going to land right here. So they're really just trying to explore a lot. And if you didn't see episode 2 or 1, go check those out. Should have said that before this. And now the US is looking pretty good. And China really doesn't have much to do. They're just gonna connect up their territory better. And they are actually going to make an alliance. Just drag this over with Russia. So China and Russia are now allied. We'll make this, what shape? They are not allied to Australia, India, and Brazil. They're their own thing. So let me just get that ready. So this is the rectangle square-ish alliance. So then we're just gonna duplicate that. Move it over here. Okay. So there's the rectangle alliance. That makes them very strong. Now the US is kind of falling behind with alliances, but they don't really have anyone to ally to. Because the Circle Alliance isn't really accepting anyone, and the Square Alliance they don't want to be with, seeing as world politics. So this is kind of where I want to end it today. This might be a shorter video, but I'm happy with it. So, yeah. Alright. See you in episode 4.